Thank you.
Dear guests and friends, IT Arena 2022 is now open. Pavlo, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Stepan. It's a great pleasure always to be here. Arena Lviv 22. Unusual place a little bit, but I'm actually almost the first time. It's the second time I'm here on this stage, but the first time I'm speaking here, so I'm a little nervous. And anyway, let me invite immediately people who feel much better at this stage. Serhiy Prytula, the founder of Serhiy Prytula Foundation. Taras Chmut, the director of the foundation Come Back Alive. I need to get used to this, to the English language name of it. Повернись живим, звичайно. That's how we know it in Ukrainian. And here will be a little joke. My name is Yaroslava Gres, who was supposed to be here. For those of you who have seen the very original program of the IT Arena, she was supposed to moderate this great panel, and now you can understand, how much better it would and more competent it would look like. And I'm not talking about you, gentlemen. I'm just talking about myself. And by the way, and finally, I did ask an advice from Serhiy Prytula how to moderate it. The very first panel, it's a very right decision from the IT Arena to talk about the main thing, the volunteering, how to win the war. So, gentlemen, and by the way, we also have online, obviously, Mr. Haluk Bayraktar. Can we see him on the screen? Mr. Bayraktar.
Hello.
Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
It's a lot of respect here in this hall and in this country to your company and your country. So, but let me start with the gentleman here on the stage. Is it stage 2 of the war? Maybe 3? Anyway, it's the new stage of the volunteering effort. What are the lessons learned after the stage 1? Because, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The donations are probably down. The attention from the world is definitely down. It looks like. Although the military activity is up, not down. So how to keep the momentum that kept your foundations, your activity, Mr. Bayraktar, as well, how to keep it to the level which is needed to ensure our victory? Serhiy Prytula, please.
Hi everybody, and Mr. Haluk, nice to meet you again, online. I was preparing for kisses and hugs, but I was wrong. But I'll be waiting for you in Ukraine next time. Thanks a lot for your big support to our army and to our society. So if we talk about what we can do just to keep this level that you're talking about, so I think that everyone needs to understand that we are just want to survive, yes, like nation, and we're talking about our state. So I don't want to be a nation without state. So it means that we need to have power inside us, and we need to fight, and also we need to work hard. Yes, we have some something in our society that we can check that donations go down for last few months, but that's why me and all colleagues from biggest foundations in Ukraine, we work 24/7 just to have a good communication with Ukrainian business, with a lot of Ukrainian companies, with IT businesses, with IT companies, exactly, and also we start to have work abroad. So we have a lot of different ambassadors in different countries that also helps us to raise money abroad. So only one answer is just to work hard and to keep fighting.
Okay, thank you, Serhiy. I will come back to sharpen the message, but let me include all of you guys. Taras, what is your take on that? What are your lessons learned and how to make the campaign even more effective?
Доброго дня. В першу чергу я хочу подякувати за можливість представляти нашу команду тут і подякувати присутнім і тим, хто дивиться, оскільки саме IT-кластер ще з минулого року, задовго до 24 лютого, дозволив фонду «Повернись живим» стати тією інституцією, якою ми є сьогодні і будемо в майбутньому. Сьогодні тут присутні багато наших партнерів, друзів, завдяки яким ми реалізували величезну кількість проєктів, завдяки яким ми врятували величезну кількість наших життів і забрали достатньо багато життів противника. Тому я дякую вам. Це в першу чергу для нас важливо. І важливо усвідомлення цього.
I'm really thankful for this ability to be here today with you. And of course, it's really important to say these words of thank to the IT cluster who started supporting our fund even prior to war. And thanks to all your efforts and hard work, we see that a lot of lives of ours have been saved and a lot of enemies' lives have been taken. So thank you very much for your efforts and your support.
Сьогодні ми знаходимося в третій фазі війни.
Yeah, we see that right now we have the third stage of war.
І вона абсолютно нелегка, і ми її ще не виграли.
It's really challenging, honestly.
І попереду нас чекає складна зима.
There is still a long way ahead and harsh winter.
Багато втрат.
And of course a lot of sacrifice.
Багато внутрішніх проблем.
A lot of internal problems.
І саме тому сьогодні важливо продовжувати об'єднуватись.
Therefore, it's really important for us today to stay united.
Відкинувши всі можливі проблеми, питання, амбіції.
To forget about your issues, problems, ambitions.
І допоки ми не переможемо,
until there is our victory.
А перемога для України – це не просто повернення до кордонів 91-го року.
Victory for us is not just the territory that was before from 1981.
Це зникнення з політичної карти світу такої країни, як Росія, в тих кордонах, в яких вона є сьогодні.
We see our victory as there is no Russia on a map as such. I mean, in terms of the territories it has right now.
Позбавлення цих країн ядерної зброї, позбавлення найбільшого світового терориста, того ключового фактору, яким сьогодні тероризують нашу країну.
We really are aimed at getting rid of one of the most powerful terrorist state.
І після цього такі організації, як наша, як Сергія і тисячі інших, зможуть переключитися на реалізацію проєктів по подоланню наслідків цієї війни на багато десятиліть вперед, на жаль.
Only after that, such organizations as ours, as Serhiy's one, only after that we will be able to flourish and to implement a lot of more projects.
Але сьогодні ми маємо продовжувати спільними зусиллями підтримувати Збройні сили, підтримувати інші силові структури нашого сектору безпеки і оборони до тих пір, допоки ми не переможемо в цій війні.
And right now we have to stay united. We have to keep up and stand up for our victory. And again, to be teamed up by the defense structures of Ukraine.
Тому я дякую тим, хто продовжує це робити як всередині країни, так і нашим партнерам, які продовжують підтримувати Україну за кордоном.
And I really appreciate the efforts of all those who are working here inside of Ukraine and of our foreign partners as well.
Технікою, озброєнням і можливістю реалізовувати неймовірні міжнародні угоди по забезпеченню збройних сил сучасною високотехнологічною продукцією.
Thank you to all those who are helping us with heavy weapons and with the possibility to implement the international organization and regulations in order to enhance our military system.
Дякую, Taras. Thank you, Taras. And I would like to include as soon as possible, which is now, Mr. Bayraktar. Haluk, I heard you in Kyiv a little less than a month ago. It was 3 weeks ago. So you do visit Ukraine, and thank you very much for doing that. I understand that you cannot visit all the time. How does the war look like from where you are? That's number one. And number two, we all know that you have not a gray, not a shady, but clearly black and white position and thank you for the huge support, unconditional support that you give to Ukraine. But can you explain to us the rationale of your position?
Hello all. I would like to extend my greetings to Mr. Prytula, Mr. Chmut, and you, and all the guests listening to us. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to such a prestigious event, IT Arena. We as Baykar, we have a long-term relationship with Ukraine. It was established years back, and we always supported that Turkey and Ukraine has a win-win style relationship, a complementary and strategic level relationship, which benefits to the two independent countries. And in that regard, we build on it a lot. You know, 4 years ago, none of the countries in the world accepted to deliver armed drones to Ukraine. It was only Turkey and Baykar, and we did it, and we established a very good system in Ukraine. And at the same time, we as Baykar, as Turkey, we procure our strategic engines, turbine engines from Ukraine. So we created a model, a business model that really support each other. Now, since 7 months, it's really Ukraine is under very heavy aggression. It's very challenging, and we as Baykar, with all this build up, all these relationships, we believe in the future of our relationship, and we always invested in it, and we always continue to do so. And in that regard, I really admire the campaigns that are being done through this Come Back Alive and Prytula Foundation, because extraordinary times needs extraordinary measures to tackle. So this foundations really became example, and we as Baykar, at these bad times, at these aggression times, we wanted to show ourselves that we are not after, as a company, yes, we are we are a technology provider company, but we are not after maximizing our revenue in a capitalistic way, but rather we need to maximize our support in these hard times. And I think we show that significantly with donating all this armed Bayraktar TB2s free of charge, actually. When you ask me about the war, yes, it's very challenging. The scale is very high. It's on a wide area, and also it's unbalanced when you compare. At the beginning of the war, when you look at on the Ukrainian side, really weapons and high-tech weapons were on huge need, and on the beginning, Bayraktar TB2 was the most significant element on the high-tech technology side on Ukraine side. So it's a very challenging environment, and so you need to really develop different tactics to tackle with it, because it's very dynamic and changing. So it's a very from the outside, it's a very big scale war ongoing, and we, with all our hearts, our support, and also with our technical staff locally in Ukraine, supporting 24 hours, 7 days with Ukraine, and support your war in independence and for your homeland.
Thank you, Haluk. We will continue, of course. I hardly see you. That's a little bit of a problem. And IT Arena, I mean, should be, two-way street, not just me asking questions. Oh, that's a little better. Thank you very much. The point is, if you want to ask the question to these three outstanding individuals, please write to me. And if I will say Facebook Messenger, I'll probably old-fashioned. You can write on Instagram. By the way, can organizer tell me, are there microphones in the hall so that you can ask the question in the hall? I don't think so. But if yes, I will ask organizers, please let me know how to involve you, because this is absolutely important, because this is IT Arena, and this is Lviv, and this is Ukraine, and we are a democracy, and we are Europe. Okay. Meanwhile, if I can ask all three our distinguished guests, in your opinion, what is your greatest success in the last 7 months, and what is our greatest challenge now? Just one success, one challenge, and then of course we will move, how to solve it. Serhiy.
I think that greatest success, I think that we have a few of them. The first one is the team of our foundation, because I have business with excellent people. Also, I'm proud with our project, People's Bayraktar, and I want to thank Mr. Haluk again, because I know how he was impressed by our project, and you can believe, you can imagine how was I impressed and surprised with your decision when you decided to make just to give 3 drones just for free. That was real shock for me and for all our team and for all Ukrainians. What I thought that it was a joke, because I never met before the person who can make a gift in $15 million, But now I know one. So thank. And of course, the biggest success it's I think our case that we call People's Satellite. So it was really important project in communication with Ministry of Defense, exactly with our Minister Alexei Reznikov, and also that was a big part in this case. It takes Mr. Max Polyakov, our Ukrainian Elon Musk. I'm afraid if I said something bad to Max, if I said that he's like Elon Musk. But he's really cool, he's genius, and he makes something really important for Ukrainian society and for our armed forces. And now, yesterday, our Minister of Defense, he just made the message that in 2 days, our armed forces destroyed 60 different kind of Russian armored technique. That's excellent result, and so that's our success, the biggest in the last 7 months. But I think that the biggest challenge that we have now, that's not challenge of our foundation, the challenge for all Ukrainians is just to keep our unity, because Russia wants to separate us. But we all understand that we have one big power that can stop Russian aggression, and we can return our territories and our people, that Ukrainian armed forces. And our army need a total support from all society. Ukrainian armed forces don't choose whom to defend. They defend all of us. And that's why we need to be in unity till the last day and some time after, because we will have huge challenges after our victory. Thank you.
Thank you, Serhiy. Taras?
В першу чергу для нас ключовим викликом і, напевно, на сьогодні ключовим досягненням є те, що ми змогли реалізувати і виправдати ту величезну людську довіру, яку ми отримали, і підтримку 24-го і в подальші тижні і місяці.
I think that our first challenge and our first success is the fact that we managed to justify all the trust and that we met to the expectations of people.
Повірте, вирости з організації з бюджетом в декілька десятків мільйонів гривень в організацію з бюджетом в понад 5 мільярдів не так легко.
We made a kind of a big leap in terms of our budget, and it's not that easy task, I would say.
Якісно витрачати ваші кошти, якісно на них закуповувати, забезпечити армію – це величезний виклик для нас.
For us, our top challenge is the quality in using your finances with the maximum capacity and maximum success.
Але як показує попередні місяці, мені здається, ми з ним доволі якісно справились.
And as we see from the couple of months, yes, we really do the qualitative thing.
Тому не спиняйтесь.
Therefore, we are not to settle, of course.
Якщо говорити про майбутнє, про плани, виклики, один. Він насправді один, найбільший. Це озброєння нашої армії. Ми не хочемо допомагати пораненим, ми хочемо, щоб їх не було. Для того, щоб їх не було, нам треба знищувати ворога.
And talking about our future plans, yeah, we are aimed at making our armed forces stronger. We don't want to buy more drones. Yeah, we want just to get rid of drones, just to get rid of our enemies so that we do not have the need to use those stuff.
Для того, щоб знищувати ворога, нам треба зброя, техніка, боєприпаси.
In order to get rid of our enemy, we need ammunition, we need heavy weapons.
І ми готові разом з вами забезпечувати цим нашу армію.
And we are ready, teamed up with you, to maintain our army.
Зброї багато не буває,
There is never too much weapons,
потреба величезна.
but our needs are tremendous.
І я думаю, через рік ми зможемо показати величезний результат.
And I think that in 1 year we can show just immense results.
І однозначно врятувати величезну кількість наших людей.
And of course to save a lot of lives of our soldiers.
І показати Росії ту єдність нашого суспільства в боротьбі за наші переконання і цінності.
We want to show to the Russian society what is the unity of the Ukrainian people.
Дякую. Thank you, Taras. I am getting your questions, so thank you very much. After this round, I will start asking them. And actually, I'm even getting the questions to my private number from people who I never thought have my private number, but that's okay. You know, keep sending. Mr. Bayraktar, if
Yes.
I may ask the same question to you, the success, the biggest success and challenge, but for you, may I enlarge the perspective, not just 7 months? I'm sure that people in the hall, and it's one of the probably the most prestigious halls in Lviv Opera, which is now populated with IT people. It's so exciting. I'm sure many of them wanted to ask you the question, how to build a company like this, which is now world famous in a relatively short time. So what is the greatest success of the Bayraktar company, and what is the greatest challenge now?
Okay, I think one of the most important success, Bayraktar TB2 fleet is alive since the beginning of the war. They are flying day and night. I mean, when you think of the scale of the war, it's very intense, and Ukraine is under big attacks every day. Cruise missiles, artilleries are attacking your land. So I was thinking in such a big conventional style war, and these unmanned technologies, they are new, they are high-end, but they were not actually used this much on the warfare. So I was hesitant, but they proved themselves, and they are alive since the beginning of the war. I think this is a very critical one of the success. The other thing, I think with these campaigns, with Come Back Alive, Prytula Foundation, they really, and also it was big moment, and then this decision for us to donate this, it kind of changed the minds because your position most in the West, and we are a company from Turkey, so from Turkey you don't hear, we didn't used to hear this much high-tech companies proving themselves on the outside, so there are some prejudices, and so we were kind of positioned as, because our drones were used in Azerbaijan to defend Azerbaijan land, and then it was used on different countries to protect their homeland. So there was some prejudices, and so it kind of, one of the things that this campaign is as well, we showed ourselves really, we are not like a typical company after profit. It's not easy to forgive. It's about thousands of people working in this company, and it's not easy to forgive its big amounts, but we did it to show really we are building trust, and in this we have a saying in Turkey, good friends show themselves in bad times. It's a saying, and we want to show that. I think it's one of the it's one success as well, and of course this creating a high-tech company, you need a really strong ecosystem, and this ecosystem is being built in Turkey. And it's not only in Turkey, with Ukraine also, in our relationship, we were modeling it that way to create an ecosystem in G2G agreements as well. We worked on it, and we have a plan to build a research and manufacturing center of excellence in Kiev as well, which did not stop. So this kind of also shows our belief and we don't, because it was a decision taken by between two governments, so nothing can affect it. It is moving ahead. So this company was actually built on it's this war as well. The war in Ukraine showed it very clearly that our countries shall be self-sufficient. And the success comes with the high-end technologies if you're able to utilize them in the correct way. To utilize them in the best way, you have to develop them. So you have to have them, have them. You shall not wait others give it to you. It might be late. You shall build ecosystems which really gives the results right away, and you need to innovate and adapt to it in a very quick fashion. So in that regard, we embarked on a journey in Turkey 20 years before, starting with small-scale unmanned systems, where we believe that this is the future of aviation. And after 20 years, after 15 years, we became the world's biggest exporter on this technology, and it's being used and benefited by many countries, actually.
Thank you, Haluk. Now I'm going back, going to your questions, ladies and gentlemen. If I may ask you one more thing, we are progressing. So you keep sending questions. This is great, but you're sending questions in Ukrainian, which is good. I can translate. But if you can send it in English, it will be a little easier for me. Less work, because it's like the first question to both of you, Serhiy and Taras. Regarding the satellite data, regarding the project of the People Satellite, Serhiy, it's first of all to you. How do you evaluate the return on investment, ROI, of this project? And were there more successful alternatives of investment like this? In other words, are you happy with the decision you made regarding this the satellite? Now, having again the goodwill of Mr. Bayraktar to donate three drones, three planes.
Look, we organized a campaign in June that we call People Bayraktars. So the idea was to raise money for 3 Bayraktars. We had crowdfunding campaign and we raised money. And after that, Mr. Haluk made a great gift to us, 3 Bayraktars. Yep. So we have 100% plan that we made it. Yep. Yes, made it true. And Mr. Haluk saved a huge budget for us. And not me exactly, not my team, we cannot decide how can we spend this huge budget. Because we are civilian. But also we have Ministry of Defense. And we have professionals there. And we ask them, how can we use the money? And we discussed about that maybe 1.5 weeks. And when our Minister of Defense said that, let's try to buy a satellite. First that I thought that he's an alien. But after that, I also thought that a few months before, I was talking about Bayraktars like about something impossible to buy. But example of Taras, Chmut, example of also different guys like our colleague Andreas Tapinas from Lithuania. Exactly, I want you to remember that he was the first one who organized the first campaign to buy a Bayraktar. And he raised €5 million in 3 days. And I was inspired exactly with this guy, and my team was inspired with him, and also Ukrainian society was inspired. And after that, Ukrainian society started to push on me with only one question: when? So I had no other choice. But if you ask me, is it was a good idea to spend money for a satellite and for a database? Yes, goddammit, that's a great decision of our Ministry of Defense. And I don't know if you don't trust to what our minister said about the result of the first 2 days of this project, what we get with this satellite and all pictures from the space. So I don't know who can be the better one that you can trust to him. Our intelligence is happy like small kids. I never saw a strong man so happy like 2 days ago when I was on the meeting in the Ministry of Defense. So that's why just a little bit more trust to each other and everything will be ok. Thank you.
Thank you, Serhiy. Thank you. Тарас, you have something to add? Маєте щось додати?
До чого?
До цього питання. Окей. Питання було до обох вас. Two of you from Владислав Грезєв. Thank you, Владислав, for the question.
Ти що, не хочеш сказати, що ми нормально бабки використали? Чи що?
Я вже сказав.
Я тебе завжди хвалю.
Serhiy is switching on. You know, I waited for this a long 49 minutes, minus 15. Okay, so 34. That's good. Thank you, Serhiy. As soon I will leave, you know, and go back to the reception area. Anyway, Mr. Bayraktar, Slavic Mota, thank you for asking the question in English, because here I have to be precise, and I just will read what you're asking, Mr. Bayraktar. We have heard that Baykar is going to open the military plant in Ukraine. What is it about? I will add on my side, of course, if you can talk about it. Is this only a gesture? I'm back to the question. Is this only a gesture, or are there also business goals behind these decisions, Mr. Bayraktar?
In 2019, President Zelensky visited our facility in Istanbul. At that time, we had Ukrainian military staff being trained in Turkey to operate Bayraktar TB2s. And after his visit, he asked us to set up a research and manufacturing center and in Ukraine. He asked us together with the team, and we said, okay, we will do it. And since that time, we were working on this project. And in last February, we had a G2G agreement between Turkey and Ukraine, because we are as well using Ukrainian engines, and Baykar is kind of the initiator of the strategic defense relationship between Ukraine and Turkey. We are one of the forerunners there. So our success as a foreign investment in Ukraine, we believe that would really support Ukraine, and also it will open the pave the way for others to come for our countries. And then when this G2G was signed, we started on the design of the facility, and President Zelensky didn't ask us to do something small, but he really wanted us to do something big, which is including the research, manufacturing, testing. So it's like a big scale investment. And so we designed our facility. We bought the land for it, but then the war started. But we never stopped on the design, and the design phase is almost finished for this facility right now. And this facility, I mean, of course it's a business decision, and of course it will not only help Ukraine, but also help help the company, help Baykar, because right now there is a huge demand all over the world. This is a very highly developing area, and also Ukraine has a long aerospace industry. So Ukraine has a well-established history on the field of aerospace. And also on the engines, turbine engines, Ukraine has really good technologies in that regard. So we wanted to create this benefit from this synergy, establish this center there, and specifically serve the export market through Ukraine by building drones and doing research there and building the manufacturing them there and exporting. This is the actual idea, and we keep on with it, and we are moving ahead with it actually. So our plans are still there. Of course, there are challenges, much more challenges after the war started, but we will never step aside and leave it, but keep on with this plan.
Thank you, Mr. Bayraktar. By the way, Here's my friend Serhiy Veres from Lviv Polytechnic University. Invites you, Mr. Bayraktar, and you, Taras. I'm sorry about you, Serhiy. You probably need to graduate from Catholic University first, okay? But these two guys are invited to Lviv Polytechnic to give a lecture. You offline, obviously, since you're in Lviv, and you, Mr. Bayraktar, if you can do it online, I can connect all of you guys. So it's Serhiy Veres, famous one in Lviv. Meanwhile, since you...
Excuse me, Lviv Polytechnic, yes?
Lviv Polytechnic.
Okay, I remember.
I'm not invited either. You know, we need to grow up.
Nothing,
you know,
nothing personal.
Nothing.
Nothing personal, just hate.
Meanwhile, the question to you from Inga Kordunovska, which, by the way, proves that I read the messages from the other folder. You don't need to be friend with me. How could you grow from millions to billions? Як ви виросли з мільйонів до мільярдів? That's a good question for the IT arena people. You know, how to grow out from millions to billions? Як вирости з мільйонів до мільярдів? Які ключові кроки? What are the steps that made it possible?
It's a question from tax office.
That's a question to Taras. Okay, it's also a question to you, but give me a moment, Taras.
Тут подвійна відповідь і для податкової теж. По-перше, репутація.
It's all about reputation, first of all.
По-друге, системність.
And of course, systemic approach.
І по-третє, компетентність.
Thirdly is our competence.
Ці три характеристики дозволили в лютому, в кінці січня, зробити величезний скачок, неймовірний, в принципі, я не знаю подібні випадки в історії.
These three pillars.
Як я вже говорив, цей скачок, він для нас, він не був легкий.
These three pillars actually was the key factors of our success,
І це був
starting
величезний
from
виклик.
February. And of course, it was really difficult, it was challenging, but it was possible for us.
І зберегти впродовж подальших місяців роботи репутацію, системність, послідовність і компетентність для нас було однією з найважливіших завдань.
We understood the importance of not fall flat on our face, and of course to keep all this reputation, competence, and our knowledge.
І як сьогодні показують наші надходження, які не падають насправді, нам це вдалося.
And judging from our donations, as I can say, they do not decrease. We made it.
Дякую, Тарас. Thank you. The hint to Serhiy Veres, if you invite Taras into the classroom, prepare 90 questions, because he answers 1 minute for one question, okay? So it's like, військові відповіді такі, телеграфні, up to the point, okay? Serhiy, there is also the question from you, from Inga. What was the most difficult in the fundraising the funds for People's Bayraktar?
The most difficult was to don't cry all time, because really I cannot work with my emotions sometimes, because people hurts me, but in a good way. I mean, because when I saw so many kids that joined to our campaign, so I was crying, but only when I was alone, because I'm a man. I can't do it for publicity, you know.
There's your team behind, you know. So.
And I think that Haluk remembered two boys from Lutsk that sell cherries, and exactly after that you invite them to Turkey. So a lot of kids were joined to this project, and also I was surprised with this flash mob of Ukrainian companies that start to they start some competition, you know. That's also in Ukrainian mentality, I think, because when founder of one company wrote in Facebook that, okay, I donate 100,000 hryvnias, another one, ha, come on, I will donate 200. Another one wrote 500. After that, Comfy company comes 1 million. And after that, I remember that one guy from IT industry, he just wrote, okay, my first donate to Prytula's foundation, 5 million. Relax to everybody else, you know. So that's why only we talk only about emotions. But I tell you true, I was believed that it will be easy to raise money exactly for Bayraktar drones, because Bayraktar, that's not just only drone. That's not just only some brand. That's like symbol of Ukrainian next victory. And because, you know, when we have radio that called Bayraktar radio, we have songs about Bayraktar, people call their pets Bayraktar. I think that we have somebody in Ukraine that made tattoo Bayraktar, I don't know. So we talk about something that everyone knows, and we all saw how it works. And exactly, it's pity that we talk about this thing because we have a war, but I also was impressed like drones work in this war in Ukraine, because before we saw only videos from Syria and Karabakh, where Bayraktar drones destroyed targets that was on the land. But when I saw how Bayraktar destroyed Russian ship in the Black Sea, I was so crazy about this thing. I said, I also want this. I also want to have my own Bayraktar. And when Haluk sent the Bayraktars to Ukraine, I visited them, and I called them. I gave them names. So our team, we call 3 drones like Трясця, Ковінка, и Халепа. I don't know how to translate better. I think that's like trouble, trouble, and trouble. So we have triple trouble for Russians. Thank you, Haluk.
Thank you, Serhiy. I think it's very logical now to come to Mr. Bayraktar with the questions from Serhiy Prytula. But Mr. Bayraktar, these questions are blitz questions, sort of like these are brief questions and may require a brief answer if you can, of course, or if you want. So the first question, our conference is named Ukraine Brave, Resilient, Digital. I want to ask you to describe Ukraine in 3 words by your own impression.
I think Ukrainians are perseverant, patient, and resistant.
Thank you. Thank you. And the second question, Serhiy already suggested some of the names, but he suggested that in Ukrainian. What do you think about an idea to name the next drone with the Ukrainian name, person or city name? Mr. Bayraktar.
To name the drone?
Yes, with Ukrainian name.
Okay. But I don't know Ukrainian.
You know, we can give some advice. Serhiy already gave.
You can name it Taras, for example.
Taras, they already give good names, so I leave it to them to give the names. We should find a good historical context to name it, actually. You know, there's a Corvette being built in Turkey for Ukraine. They name it Ivan Mazepa.
Yes.
And
That's a good starting point. Thank you, Mr. Bayraktar. Meanwhile, back to Taras and Serhiy, there is a question from Yuri Ignatyuk. And that's an interesting question, by the way, a little bit personal, by the way. Since February 24th, what is your biggest personal challenge? And what did this war teach you personally in this new phase? So you want to go first?
Hard to answer because it's really very personally, because I'm only one civilian adult in my family. So I have big family, I have cousins, I have native brother, I have godson, and they all defend our country with the gun in arms. So and I think the biggest challenge was just to wait for a call.
Thank you, Serhiy. Thank you. Taras?
Особисте питання.
Особистий виклик найбільший.
Тоді особиста відповідь. Напевно, для мене особисто це не так довіряти словам, як довіряти вчинкам.
Yeah, my personal challenge is not to believe in words, but in deeds.
Okay. Now let's move into the future. And you already touched upon this, all of you, but we do have this challenge that this may look like a long war, which will need a lot of effort. How to sustain this level of activity, how to sustain this enthusiasm, how to sustain this unity that you mentioned, how to move forward thinking that this is not a sprint, this is maybe a marathon.
I don't know. I think that every one of us, we can give some example for society. I told you that our project, People's Bayraktars, so it was not only about drones, but it was about unity. So we need to share our opinion with our society, to be example, to work hard, and also I think that our government, our president, they need to be true with our society, because in the last 7 months we live in situation when we don't want to have some lie. We just only want to have a truth, and truth will help us to be in unity for a long time. I think so. That's my opinion exactly. I don't know what can say more, because we will have a lot of different challenges in the future, and one of biggest is corruption also. I'm really afraid of this, because I saw one research a few weeks ago, and they asked people, so how do you think what will be in the future after our victory? And people said that, okay, future will be very cool. We will live in the better country in the whole world. We will start from the new page. Corruption will be disappeared. Politician will be the better in our world also. And it's a little bit infantile, yes. I think that our people and our foundations and our NGO, they need to be more active after war, because we show to everybody in Ukraine and abroad that we are effective in this war, and we have a good results. We have very fast logistic. We have no bureaucracy in our job. So, and that's why exactly right now we are looking in the future and talking with different politicians and different NGOs and with ambassadors from different countries about the possibility to share some budgets that the world will send to Ukraine, will share with Ukraine. But we talk not about the relations between governments, but we talk that NGOs also need to have communication with Ukrainian NGOs also, because we want also to rebuild our country, and we have experience, and people trust us, and we have no corruption inside our structures. So that's why we want to play this game.
Thank you, Serhiy. Taras?
В цій війні я, як і кожен, напевно, з присутніх і з глядачів, втратив не одну людину, не одного друга, знайомого, родича, військовослужбовця, з яким колись пересікався.
The fact is that probably each person here has lost someone in part of this war.
Ця війна, я впевнений, для всіх це щось особисте, повністю особисте.
I think that this war, for each of us, brings something personal.
І, на жаль, для того, щоб повноцінно говорити про середньострокове, довгострокове майбутнє, ми маємо в ній спочатку перемогти.
And of course, in order to talk about some medium-term or long-term perspectives, yeah, of course, we need to win first.
Незважаючи на величезні успіхи Збройних сил України і на півдні, і на сході, до перемоги ще доволі далеко, на жаль.
Прошу трішки голосніше.
Незважаючи на величезні успіхи України, Збройних сил на півдні і на сході, до перемоги ще доволі далеко.
We understand that for all the successes at the eastern part of Ukraine and in the south part of Ukraine, there is still a long way to go.
І тому для мене першим кроком майбутнього це перемога, а вже далі розбудова України.
And for me personally, the first step is our victory, and the second step will be the recovery of Ukraine.
Але доволі складно розбудовувати країну в умовах, коли у будь-який населений пункт, у будь-яку цивільну інфраструктуру, у будь-який момент часу з півночі, сходу або півдня може прилетіти одна або десяток крилатих ракет і знищити незалежно, що там було. Цивільне населення, автобусна станція, цивільне підприємство або військовий об'єкт.
And of course, it's difficult to talk about the reconstruction of Ukraine, living under the condition that any time, anything that can be striking a blow from the north, from the south, from the eastern part of Ukraine, and the target can be anything, the civil object, the military object, civil infrastructure, etc. It's next to impossible to reconstruct under such conditions.
Тому перше завдання – це безпека.
Of course, safety is first.
А далі ми відбудуємо, відновимося і створимо ту країну, в якій ми будемо хотіти жити.
And then we will reconstruct and rebuild everything. We will create the level we would like to live in, but there it will be later on.
Я впевнений, що той рівень консолідації, який ми показали зараз, дозволить нам це зробити.
And I think thanks to this consolidation level that we have shown, we have all the chances to succeed.
Дякую. Thank you, Taras. Mr. Bayraktar, do you have the reflections on this question, how to sustain this, the efforts that we are doing right now for a pretty long period of time? Your advice?
The unity in the Ukrainian society and the will and the resistance and the strong belief in your independence, and it has been 7 months and bad times, but I believe it will carry on forward and make Ukrainians stronger and save itself. This will and the will of this people and belief inside.
Thank you. Mr. Bayraktar, meanwhile, there are more questions to you. If you believe that they are touching some confidential information, please say so, and people will understand it. Absolutely. Can you comment on the split between the hardware and software cost in drones production, for example?
On this type of technologies, you really need to innovate, update continuously. You need to really keep your technical support on the product. So it's that capability that keeps the product and the technologies alive. Imagine viruses. You need to develop the antiviruses, but then there's a new virus. You need to develop another antivirus, and the technologies are like that. You really need to change according to the changing environments and dynamics, and update your systems. And the cost is there. The cost is not the material prices of the item, but rather that investment on the innovation capability to keep the system alive, and that's the real cost. For instance, we are at Baykar 2,800 people, and we have more than 1,400 engineers to keep the systems updated. So it's that capability that's the cost. The real cost is on the research side, not on the once you make the product. Yeah, the item cost, the hardware, the components, it's not that. And the main cost is this capability and continuously getting the system updated. For example, within Ukraine, it was so challenging that we needed to update a lot of things, and still it is moving ahead. Still we do that. That's the cost of this technology.
Thank you. And one more. Also, you know, if it's if for some reason you cannot comment on it, that's absolutely fine. Roman Reznikov is asking, will you sell Ukraine or donate to Ukraine the new drone? I'm not sure. It says Akinci. I'm not sure that I'm pronouncing it right. That has Ukrainian engine.
Бо ми готові купити.
Taras is ready to buy.
This Akinci drone is a strategic class platform, and its first flight was with Ukrainian engine, and it is delivered to Turkish military with Ukrainian engine as well. Right now, Bayraktar TB2 is a very well-established system with its own network and everything, and it's very flexible and a field-proven system. Akinci is also that way. Right now, there is no. There are some interests and talking, but I don't want to dive into many details. But if we believe that it will be much more beneficial than Bayraktar TB2, then it can be considered. I mean, I can tell you this much free. Now, I mean, the system is there, and so we go on with it. But once we build this factory in Ukraine, we will build Bayraktar Akincis there, Bayraktar TB2 there, and not only that, we have a new project, which is unmanned fighter jet with supersonic capabilities. We even have our agenda to build that platform with all subsystems in Ukraine, integrate Ukrainian turbofan engines to it as well. That's our roadmap.
Thank you. Taras.
Як людина, яка при кожній зустрічі генерального директора питає, що по Акінджі, я трохи доповню або прокоментую, що...
Wait. Translation. Mr. Bayraktar, are you getting the translation from Taras when he is speaking?
No.
I do it actually consecutively.
Yeah, but we just, now the translation will come. Yeah.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Повторить.
Yeah. Just can you repeat, please? Yeah.
Та буває. В контексті Акінджи і Байрактарів. І нам, і багатьом іншим хотілося б, щоб Україна мала Акінджи.
Of course, in the context of Bayraktars, we would like to have more advanced devices of yours.
Але сьогодні турецька компанія пропонує, і я сподіваюся, ми реалізуємо попередні домовленості на більш ефективні рішення для цієї війни, для наших умов і для нашого противника.
And of course, right now, I really hope that within the war context, we will implement all our previous talks and agreements with more efficiency.
І це дозволить давати напевно, значно кращий і дешевший результат, аніж якби ми купили один Акінджи.
And the results will be even more efficient and even cheaper, as though we can buy some other optional device.
Просто треба трохи більше часу.
We just need more time.
Дякую, Taras. Thank you. Mr. Bayraktar, did you now get the translation?
I kind of understood. I mean, Ukraine has a well-established system, and we want Bayraktar TB to give you the most benefit. And of course, it's very challenging, and it's not easy. And but still, the fleet is running, flying, and supporting Ukraine defense forces. And of course, there are some new innovations. Some of them are done, some of them are on the work going on. But as we have them ready, we immediately support Ukraine with these new things. So, and we will go on with it because Ukraine is our strategic partner, and also as a we see all these things. I have a lot of friends who died as became a martyr in this war. The ones who we trained in Turkey, family from their families. You know, we have seen a lot of things. So all of this, of course, affects us, and we will keep on and do our best with the technology-wise, whatever we can to support. But of course, it's not easy. But everyone against this thing try. Once they do their best, then we will have the result. I believe in it.
Thank you. Thank you. There is another elephant in the room. I need to ask this question. It's asked a number of times, but it sounds better in Ukrainian because the word переслідування волонтерів. I have even a hard time to translate it properly into English. I mean, I can find words, but this is like, unfortunately, this is what seems to be happening now in Ukraine. Serhiy and Taras, you obviously heard about that. What do you think about this?
I heard about that. I have no possibility to check every one case. Of course, I understand that we have hundreds, thousands of volunteers, and sometimes we can find there some bad people, of course. But I checked few cases, and I want to say that cases are шиті білими нитками.
That's another
really also hard to translate.
hard to translate, yeah.
So that's looks like fake, and it's also a big challenge for us now, for all volunteers of Ukraine, because if you talk about people who donate to volunteers, so we talk about trust in the first place. If you don't trust to somebody, you will not donate to his foundation or to his bank accounts. Doesn't matter. I saw research of Zahori Family Foundation. Last month in August, they made a big research, and there is one point in this research. So, if somebody start to understand that police open criminal справу.
Investigation, criminal investigation.
Yes, open criminal investigation with some volunteer or some volunteer organization. So 10% stop a donation, not just for this volunteer, but
in general.
Yes. So they will not donate to anybody else anymore. 18% they start donate so small money. So just in a reason that if somebody will steal my money, I don't care because that's a small number. So we talk about 28%. So it's really dangerous, and it's also indicates that we are talking that donations start to slow down. So that's why I think that the better idea for our police and our secret service and somebody else just to wait for judge
ruling.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So because it's really bad for all volunteers in Ukraine. If you found some few persons, so it doesn't mean that we all are the same.
Right.
So that's why we need to fight with this shit also. Sorry.
That was not in Ukrainian, by the way.
Yep.
Basically we are talking about this presumption of innocence that needs to be here, because otherwise the whole system collapses, and not only regarding the volunteers. Taras, your take on this.
На жаль, дійсно проблема є. Держава в багатьох питаннях не врегулювала і не врегульовує розмежування гуманітарної допомоги, волонтерської діяльності, проходження кордону, закупівлі товарів подвійного військового призначення.
Of course, these are our topical issues. Unfortunately, they are not regulated by the state, meaning about the humanitarian aid, about the passing of the borders, about donations. Yeah, it is a really topical problem right now.
На жаль, сьогодні правоохоронні органи подекуди дуже вибірково і дуже цікаво шкодять не тільки волонтерському руху як такому, про що говорив Сергій, а в цілому шкодять обороноздатності країни.
And it means that our law enforcement agencies, they actually hamper all the actions and activities of the volunteerism actually, and it's really, and also the capability and the potential, military potential of Ukraine as well.
Той рух, який з'явився 24 лютого, він з'явився не від гарного життя, а від критичної, катастрофічної потреби величезної кількості військових фактично у всьому.
Our voluntary movement actually started on the 24th of February because of the pressing and critical problem and need that our army faced.
І, на жаль, ці потреби не те, що прям дуже швидко закриваються і вирішуються.
And unfortunately, we see that some of the problems cannot be solved very fast.
Але при цьому держава починає створювати перешкоди, штучні перешкоди і штучні проблеми.
But sometimes we see that our state really creates artificial problems.
І банально на комунікацію з органами йде подекуди доволі багато часу.
And in order to have a proper communication with authorities, it really takes a lot of time.
Того часу, який можна було направляти на більш ефективну роботу, на більші проекти, на краще забезпечення, на нові ідеї.
And we can use this time to implement more complex, sophisticated and efficient projects.
Чи у вас є канали сказати це відповідним державним органам? Це питання до вас обох. Do you have the channels to tell the responsible people about your concerns?
Ну, 1,5 місяця назад, місяць ми були на зустрічі в Верховній Раді.
No, exactly today, people from our foundations, from Come Back Alive and from Prytula's foundation also, they had meeting with head of Ukrainian parliament, with different MPs, with people from police department, with people from national bank also, and some other institutions. So we discuss everything what we are talking about right now, but that's but you know, Taras said that the big challenge was how do you say it, to separate who promised something and who did something. Yes, so now we have only promises from this side. So we are waiting for some results because it's really serious, because everyone volunteer in Ukraine now in a focus, and he's a target. Today we are staying here on the stage, on the scene with Taras on IT arena. Tomorrow we can be in a prison, and we know it. And if you will take Ukrainian law to check it, and you will say that it's a good idea because it ok with Ukrainian law to put us to the prison, but we don't want. And we think that it's not a good idea from government side or police side, Secret Service side or Office of President side, or doesn't matter which side, to fight with volunteers in Ukraine. Because we are really powerful now, and we have a total support in society. And that's why it's a very bad idea, because Ukrainian society support us not only with words, but with the money. And that's why everyone who will try to fight with volunteers, he will have the bad finish.
It's good that you didn't say that in Ukrainian. Okay, good. Thank you, Serhiy. It's a very powerful message, and I would encourage Lviv IT Cluster and other associations present in the room, if you agree with this message, you know, make it known, you know, because again, because this is Ukraine, this is democracy, this is Europe, you know, we have a say, you know, we have an influence, and we need to have this influence. Now we are gearing into the very final stretch of this panel session. I want to bring this train to this destination on time, which is in 3 minutes. So, like, closing remarks. Mr. Bayraktar, let me start with you, because there is a question from Ivan Verhun, who, by the way, asked the previous question as well. But that's specifically to you, Mr. Bayraktar. Since we are on a tech conference, and you are a head of a tech company. Do you believe technology could be a key to ensure peace in the future? It's a kind of more philosophical question. Or vice versa, new technologies will lead to even more evil wars.
I think it depends on technology is a tool. It provides you new capabilities, but at the end of the day, it's the human beings who are developing it makes the way how to use it in the good way or bad way. So it depends. Technology is just a tool. It doesn't decide by itself. It's the developers who decides how to use it for the benefit of the society, human beings, or against it. That's my short answer to it.
Thank you, Mr. Bayraktar. Thank you. And since we are finalizing the panel discussion, I will ask, of course, our colleagues here on the stage as well. But your specific messages to the closing messages to the participants of Lviv, of the IT arena in Lviv 2022.
Yes. Again, I want to really congratulate you for such a valuable event, because our future lies on this high value added technologies, and these technologies are coming up from the startups in the middle of such a big war. You are arranging such a good organization with these startups attending. It's really very valuable, and I wish it continues in a more strong fashion, because these startups, these entrepreneurs are very valuable for the societies. In Ukraine, they shall not migrate to other countries, but rather, they stay there. They fight against this aggression, but also at the same time, they are trying to develop these technologies, which is really very, very valuable. And again, I would like to extend my deepest thanks to Taras, Chmut, Come Back Alive, and Serhiy Prytula. They are doing a very great job with this huge volunteering. I would like to extend my thanks to them. And as always, our support will always be with you. And see you in Ukraine next time. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Тарас, на завершення. IT-арені.
Я дякую вам всім і багатьом за те, що ви дозволяєте нам реалізовувати те, що ми робимо, за те, що ми можемо, та зараз я вже договорю, де перекладуть, за те, що ми можемо реалізовувати ті масштабні проекти, і ви знаєте, що по Русні. Спільними зусиллями ми це зробимо.
Thank you very much, each and everyone, for everything you are doing, and together with our friends, with the Prytula's Foundation, we will stay united and we will reach our goals. Thank you.
Serhiy.
Sorry, I just checked what my team sent to me. Pictures with a lot of drones, with thermovision optic and everything else. So, and that's exactly about your donations. I also want to thank...
By the way, that was the answer to the question, what's next after the People satellite, okay? Because there was a question, so you just heard it.
Look, I'm not looking for some challenge after satellite, because satellite that cost huge money, but we rise in 3 or 4 or 5 times more than this satellite. And that's why every day we have crowdfunding campaign where we raise money for something that save lives of our soldiers, and it's also very important. You don't need to wait some call to action like, okay guys, we raise for 100 more drones. You need to understand that every day we sign the contracts. We sign every day, and we are searching in the whole world, in Europe, in the United States, for different needs that our unit needs. So that's why I want to thank IT companies that support our foundation and different other foundations and volunteers in Ukraine, because I tell you true, you are the biggest donators in our foundation. So every time when I saw somebody who come to my office with with a lot of cash in their hands in dollars or euros, so I know that this man is from IT business, because his arms are not in blood, you know. So are you from IT? Yes. Which one? Software. Thank you so much. And also, I think that there are guys from Intelia's company here. I think so. So I appreciate what you did 1 month ago. They canceled birthday party of their company and just sent 5.5 million hryvnias to our foundation, and we bought a real cool drone fly eye, the Poland one, and he worked on the south direction. So thanks a lot. And we have a lot of different examples like this, what I'm talking about. Every day we feel your support, and I want to thank you, and I want you to know that we will work hard, and we will not waste your money. That's the main thing that I want to say. And also just support volunteers, support Ukrainian armed forces, and pray for Ukrainian armed forces. Thank you.
Thank you. I need to close this session. Let's thank once again, first of all, our heroes on the front line, on the battlefield, that are fighting right now. I would like to thank our volunteer heroes, Serhiy Prytula, Chmut, and Haluk Bayraktar, for the participation and for sharing their experience and for doing so much for our joint common victory. Thank you. I would like to thank Lviv IT Cluster for bringing us all together, and I would like to thank you, the terrific audience, for all your questions. Sorry for spending so much time on my phone. I just needed them to, to read for myself first, and then to participants, and then, of course, to filter them out. Thank you very much. I hope it's a great start of the conference. Enjoy the next day and a half, and thank you once again. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Bayraktar. Thank you.
Дякую.
Thank you.